Alright, guys, it's a bit early, an early show today. I just thought I'd just come out here for a minute, try to, enjoy the crypto spike of some sort. To be expected, obviously, a lot of stuff is going on in that space, and of course, nothing for GME price action. Oh, I just realized something. Actually, today's show is 253, not 252. I'm gonna have to correct that in a minute here. But actually, hold on. I might have to hear me in a minute here. Today's oop, that was me. I have to click on that. I always forget to do this first before. I'd like to put the chat up there, although haven't been that too many people who like to comments. It's okay. It's life. If you want to cover anything GameStop, right? It's being suppressed anyway, so it is what it is. Huh? But as far as is this the same Leon? Do I know you? I think, is this Lionel? I don't recognize the name there. So if this is you, great. All right. Okay, so let's talk about the price action today. Hold on one second. Let me. I know everybody's freaking out about Bitcoin going up in price, but let's take a look at GameStop real quick before we go any further. Of course, again, very heavily suppressed still. Not much, is new here. Every other stock that has Bitcoin goes up in price, right? But for some reason, GME is the only company that doesn't go up in price. Price suppression is still there. Or I could go with the narrative that nobody's actually paying attention to GameStop at all. It's pretty. I don't believe that. But let's just say that there's no one paying attention to this company. That's the reason why the price is down, right? Let's just believe that. Let's go with that narrative. In which case, it is still the best company to buy into, right? Because when nobody's paying attention to it and it's poised to go higher in price, typically, you see that explosion going on there. Now, this is the most highly manipulated stock in the history of the universe, it seems like. Because again, no matter what good news is happening, the stock just doesn't move. And this is how, they're able to get people to get so frustrated, whether you're buying calls, selling calls, or whatever, right? To get you to be so impatient so that you do something drastic with your portfolio. So again, I don't know, what else to tell you. This is all psychological. Just understand what putting yourself or getting yourself into when you get into GameStop. Just know that, unless you're willing to hold for at least 10 years or more, you're not going to, appreciate this. Now, yes, there are times when you are able to time it just right, but that's rare. That's pretty rare. However, if you're consistent, you might be able to scoop GME at a lower price, okay? I'm not saying it's going to go down here. I'm not quite sure if they're going to be able to drop it down low, that low. But just keep an eye on those levels. Obviously, it's to be expected. Not quite sure what's going to happen for the next earnings report. It seems like it's going to be around September or so. That could be the big catalyst of them dropping the market lower to try to drive people out away from GameStop as well. So I don't know. Again, the price action just doesn't make sense to me at the moment. But that's precisely where the opportunity is. Okay. So again, no matter how you slice it, okay, GameStop is the best position and the best price point for people who want to start the position if you haven't already. Now, the estimate right now, it seems like it was increased, right? I feel like they estimated a little bit lower, but 15 cents. Okay, for the company that makes zero money, right? That's what they're telling you. Or for the company that's going to go bankrupt in 5 years, like Michael Pachter was saying for the last, couple years here. For them to estimate that GameStop's going to earn 15 cents per share, that's pretty enormous in my opinion. So again, hey, they have to, they have to move the goalposts a little bit higher. Okay, so that was the estimate for the next earnings report. Again, we're inching closer and closer to the profit margin, net profit. Look at it, 10%. Net profit for this quarter is 6%. Next, net margin, right there, net margin. See, it's going higher, trending higher. So very encouraging. We know that. We understand that this company has been, going through the transition already, and right now we're ready to thrive. So it's been in transition for quite some time. It's been in the right direction, trending in the right direction. Look at this. Look at the earnings, right? You get so much green out of that. Of course, again, the most important things that they want you to look into is the top line revenue. But even look at the top line revenue, right? Is how much is it off by? Not very much. Not very much. This one's 13% off. Okay, 2% off, 3% off, 10% off. So on average, you would say it's around, I would say 6% off. If you were to just accounting for these 4 quarters over here. So it's pretty easy to think that, okay, since this time around, we're not closing as many stores as we used to, right? And so we are more and more focusing on, America's stores, okay? Because that's the most profitable quarter or the most profitable country to do business in at the moment, right? Not to say that, eventually the international outreach is going to be there. So long as the dollar is to be the dominant currency, it's tough to do that right now in other countries. Hey, what's up? Oh, thank you for tuning in. I know I always appreciate people saying that, but thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay, what was I saying? So what if this time around we're gonna be able to beat the revenue? Okay, both revenue and that. That's remain to be seen. But if you look at the last earnings report here, we are only off by 10%. So hopefully this time around we're gonna be off by less than 10%. How about that? So less store, sure, less everything here. Okay, and then if you look at all of the other stuff over here. We're seeing a whole bunch of green over here. Wait, that's quarterly. Let's do annually. Much better, projection here. Okay, so revenue substantially down. Look at this, like close to half down revenue. However, look at the gross profit. Okay, so with that, we are increasing in gross profit with this much. Look at the difference, you guys. Crazy. So understand, you guys, like, look at this. They're telling you something different than what you're seeing right now. So operationally, we are profitable. We just turned profitable this year, this fiscal year, actually. So it's still, to be determined. So projecting that we are going to be able to be in the positive. Pre-tax, all of that. Net income, right? So we were profitable, yes, but not operationally yet. We are going to be profitable operationally. But last year we were profit in terms of net income due to the interest from the cash balance that we were able to raise from the ATM, from the convertible notes and all that stuff. So okay. Looking at the, try to look at the cash flow or something. Okay, so just keep in mind, you guys, like even with the quote unquote dilution, right? Look at the share. It hasn't been increasing in common stock share outstanding yet. Yes, when that convertible notes is going to be converted, you're going to see that dilution, but it's not until then. And there's a price point in which it's going to do that. Okay, it's not just randomly it's going to convert it into Gamestop share here. They have to reach a certain convertible conversion rate, a conversion price, which is around $30 a share. Okay, and just because they have those shares doesn't mean that they are going to just dump it on retail. Okay, if you want to sell, GameStop share at $30 at the price in which you are able to break even, good on you, right? Who would want to buy a share or going through this trouble to go into the convertible bond in order just to break even? That's stupid, no, in and of itself. And so again, that's why leadership is done this the correct way. Even if it's a hedge fund who are trying to get the maximum amount of shares in order to short it into oblivion, they could do that too. That's a free market. They can. However, again, just because of the market making structure, the way that the market is structuring right now, it just doesn't make any sense throughout the price action. Even, right now it's kind of bleeding into crypto market as well. But because crypto is just a different beast in and of itself, it's kind of like predictable in that sense because of the the limited supplies of whatever coins you are holding. Of course, people are freaking out about Bitcoin going up in price. That's remained to be seen whether it's going to hold this level or not. But right now we are at all-time high. So at any moment in time when you buy Bitcoin, except for a few minutes ago, if you buy at the top, you are actually in profit. So that's why it's so powerful for MicroStrategy to offer a 5 years note in order to buy Bitcoin. Now the frustration for many people on GME or GameStop is the fact that Brian Cohen doesn't buy as much Bitcoin as we expected him to. I'm a bit disappointed on the amount, but I'm not disappointed in the fact that he's very conservative in that, very cautious about, what to spend money on. However, I would be disheartening if they're not adding more as time goes on. What my thought is that what they should do is to add more Bitcoin in perpetuity. Doesn't matter, you know. I mean, you could pledge it. You don't even have to say it, but you can make the habit of adding Bitcoin to your balance sheets. And, um, you know, if they want to be lethal, of course, you know, buying Bitcoin at this breakout price makes all the sense in the world. Um, what else? What else? Anyway, so let's look at the stapler thing again, just to make sure it's a current one. So currently, yes, it's still going on. There's still close to 6 more days left before the auction is over. Yeah, it's crazy. $122,000. Okay, so somebody is buying it, or at least appear to.
This is not an opinion.
Okay, so that's also a good sign for good engagement, you guys. Like, again, this is like a PR stunt for sure. This is, again, smart marketing, right? To demonstrate that people are actually paying attention to this. 200,000 view getting out of this. Of course, I'm one of them too. I don't know if I X out and then come back, will this count as one view as well? So just keep in mind that too. It could be multiple people here. Not that it doesn't mean that 200,000 people are actually watching it. Draw attention for sure. Yes, I mean, the point I'm trying to make is that there are people who are actually paying attention to this. Not, I mean, I cannot quantify how many people are actually, you know, investing in the company. Again, just because they are a fan of GameStop doesn't mean they are actually investing in the company. You know, the stock, they might not even have the stock, they just like the store or whatever. So there are people like that too, or they like the store because of the Pokemon cards, grading and all that stuff. So more and more people will be becoming the, you know, long-term customer here, coming back for more. And of course, a handful of us are going to be the one that are holding the stock, owning the stock, know what Brian Cohen is. So it might be a lot nicher than I initially thought it would be. But still, that's still the opportunity too, right? When people are not looking, paying attention, and really honing in on what GameStop is doing, that's perhaps, you know, the reason why the price hasn't been doing much. However, you still have, on top of that, you have that manipulation going on too. That's no question, like no question whatsoever that this company has been manipulated, the price wise, right? But it seems like every time we issue shares, we have more and more, you know, cash on hand in order to force the hand of the people that are still holding their short position and not closing. But anyway, so as if right at this second moment in time, the Bitcoin holding for GameStop has increased in value so far, right? Of course, we don't know how many more Bitcoin they're gonna add more, or even not even adding anymore. So the total asset, or the total cash equivalent plus Bitcoin is increasing to $8.2 billion so far. That's pretty crazy, right? When it comes to you know, thinking about, okay, at this price level, it's not moving so much. When are they going to be able to, you know, either close? Like I said, perhaps they just don't want to close it because that would blow up their position, and you know, a control squeeze is probably more feasible. Okay, Um, so I don't know. It's hard for me to speculate on the price right now. All I know is that I have this strategy going on here. Um, I shaved some, not from this 2000 share. It's more from the straggler of shares that I usually, kind of jump in and out of other, crypto products. Of course, I wish I should have waited on the XRP bags over there. But again, I have exposure to XRP on the other trading account. So currently, I only have a few Strife and what else? And some other instrument, but mostly just GME position here. My goal is obviously is to make sure to have more shares as time goes on. But again, that's just me risking um, a few shares here and there in order to do that. But sometime I have less share by the end of it. Currently, I've been pretty solid. Right now, I have this amount still to trade if I wanted to, but currently it's still in Gamestop at the moment. Of course, I'm still waiting on uh, that moment in time in which it's gonna spike and all. Yeah, it's nothing new, you guys. So don't be surprised. Okay, so with keep saying GameStop, with Bitcoin breaking out right now, there has been a lot of prediction. And of course, again, stock to flow and all that stuff model is really modeling it pretty well. But again, M2 global money supply is going to tell you where it's going to be. Now, if you want to do a measure move here, you can. I mean, look at the flag, right? So you could also do that as well if you wanted to. So the breakout is right here. Boom. There you go. 160. So far, so good, right? And then, whether it's going to move towards that or not, that's remain to be seen. But let's keep that level up there just to see. Now, of course, I don't have many Bitcoin as I was speaking of course, like I have the leverage Bitcoin, just a few shares here and there, and it's not much there. But just to, I guess, predict the price action here. I'm not planning to hold those ETF for long term. It's more just because of this breakout here. I just want to take advantage of that. And in the meantime as well, I'm trying to invest as much as I can in altcoin at the moment. Of course, my most holding right now is XLM, because I think that it's gonna do in terms of percentage, it's gonna do much better than XLM. I mean XLRP. And then I have some ADA, I have some comp, all of that. Again, like I'm not planning to hold for long term here. There will be a portion in which I hold for long term for XRP, but that's on chain and all that stuff. I'm not gonna touch that one. But this is a trading account. That's what I'm talking about. So again, strategy, right? You guys, like you have to have a long term hold and then you have to have a short term hold. Market is dynamic, you guys. Like it doesn't go up forever, it doesn't go down forever. So you have to gauge what you want to do, or at least know exactly what you want to do. If you want to be the buy and hold, it's less stressful for sure. I could guarantee you that. If you have a stable job, you don't worry about earning more income. That's great. As long as you have a steady stream of income coming in, buying and holding and dollar cost averaging down consistently is the best place to be. Now, if you know the price movement and you try to be the technical people, of course, you could learn that, but that's a lot more stressful and you could be wrong right, on the movement, and then you just, you know, not be able to participate in the you know in the run of something, right? So just be careful. Know what you want to do, at any moment in time, and don't listen to people. Like, don't listen to me. Like, just because I think it's gonna go higher doesn't mean it's gonna go higher. I'm guilty of that too. To tell people, hey, it has to go. Like, look at it. How low can it be? Yeah, stock could stay around here for a very long time. Like, again, strategy. Why? Why is it staying like that? Because they want it to. Because they want to draw out, make you exhausted, make you not want to even look at the company anymore, right? Even it spike, right? At one point, you're gonna be like, oh, it's about time. But even then, you're gonna be missing out on selling the shares if you wanted to. But again, I have a price target, obviously, so that's why I have this going on here, just to remind people, because sometimes people are like saying I shouldn't be doing that, calls and all that stuff. Right now, I still have 2 calls. I have not added anymore because, again, I don't want to play with cash that I have right now, because it's more important for me to focus on the altcoin season right now. So that's why I'm more focusing on, at least taking profit on my altcoins when it time. Currently, I'm just maintaining my calm here, because I know when Bitcoin goes up all-time high like this, it's nothing to scoff at here, because this is when I was able to take advantage of the runs over here before, right there. So anytime all-time high is broken, it's due for a markup, a price markup of some sort. So this one is kind of slanted. It just shows an incredible bullishness, coming into the market here. But in the next 6 months, I think you're gonna see something amazing here. Oh man, so it doesn't give me the whole graph here. It's okay. Okay, so this is a weekly incredible, incredibly bullish. Okay, so let me draw this trend line here. So it still hit that trend line. If you want, I mean, Bitcoin can break that, I guess. But this is more like a long-term trend line here. So we need to break through, and then to go to that level right there. Will it happen? I think it will happen because of the M2 money supply. We've been measuring that, right? Or there are people who've been measuring that. So we're shooting for $8 trillion of market cap for Bitcoin. That'd be insanity. It'll be insanity. All right, guys. I think I have a few more things to mention. Of course, full moon. People probably postulate what's in the box again, right? Kind of alluding to that. Power boxes, up. Yeah, to the moon, maybe. Tenfold or not. Maybe that's a hint that we are actually buying Bitcoin with it. With the orange peel. I don't know. I'm excited either way, you guys. Like, whatever happens, I have Bitcoin building into Gamestop shares already, so I'm not sweating. Whatever happens to Bitcoin, it's gonna happen to GameStop as well. Even if they're not even adding more. So all in all, good thing. The company is doing everything they can to make sure that the company is making more money, make sure that the company has an exorbitant amount of cash in order to cushion whatever blow that the economy is going to throw at us. We're not leveraging to the tilt, right? Yes, we have some convertible notes here, and people are going to point out that it's heavily in debt. Watch out for that narrative coming through. Without mentioning that it's actually 0% interest. Not even any amount of pain associated with that cash. That these people let GameStop borrow at 0%. Technically, that's free money. I know it's borrowed money. If something happened to that cash, right? Let's say they lose that cash by buying some company. Sure, that's not free money because eventually you're gonna have to pay that back. However, you get 5 years on $1.5 billion, and then you get 7 years on $2.7 billion. So that's a lot of money, you guys. Like, it's comical to me that people are still not really understanding that, and these people who are trying to sway you other way. I think either they have bad intention or they just don't know how to value value cash. Okay, so all right, guys, I think I'm getting very hungry right now. I should go eat. And yeah, let's monitor this Bitcoin price action here. I'm sure tomorrow, oh man, what if you wake up tomorrow and it's like $200,000? That'd be crazy. Of course, everybody is speculating the Raoul Paul call it a banana zone, right? That's a super cycle. That's the period in which Bitcoin is going to be repricing. Bitcoin is going to be markup, okay, because the demand, because of the supply shock or whatever it may be. So understand that, and don't be so naive to think that it's not going to happen. Just be prepared for anything that might be thrown at you. But honestly, hey, if crypto moves before GameStop, that's actually more beneficial for me, because if I have a lot of crypto, right, I could come back to GameStop at a more aggressive than before. So I'm excited for sure. So I have so much exposure to crypto right now. I know originally I was going to come back to GameStop, but it was in the negative for for the last 3 months. So I mistimed it, but I just haven't been coming back to GameStop. On my trading account, I'm not talking about my Roth or anything. My Roth is my Roth, so it's a separate thing. So I always try to clarify that, you guys, because I guess some people don't think that I'm like I shouldn't be trading my shares and all that stuff. Like, okay. I mean, come on. I have a portion in which I'm not going to trade at all, right? So again, I want to be clear. I have a strategy going on here. So again, guys, MOAS might not even happen until this happens, until all of this is going to be green. And dividend, I don't know if it's going to be feasible. I mean, of course we can pay dividend. Come on, technically we can, but I don't think Ryan Cohen is going to do dividends at all. I think he's rather using that money in order to, cash pile the whole thing for a better, a better business opportunity here. What business? I don't know. I mean, arcade sounds good, right? I mean, sounds pretty well thought of, and maybe he's trying to build a different culture where, you get people to hang out at arcade again, like physical game and all that stuff. I actually talk to younger generation than me that are up and coming. that they do have a job, they do have good, a balance, work-life balance and all that stuff. And typically they go to bars, and bars that have arcade. I actually joined them just to see what it's like. It's actually pretty fun. Now, of course, if it's done right, it's going to be profitable because you could mix alcohol with that too. I don't know if GameStop's going to be, licensing alcohol, so just to serve in those arcade, but that's also a very feasible way to go about it. Um, Again, overhead costs and all that stuff is still being worked out, but hey, if you have a good profit margin, if you have so much ability to make that happen, I don't see why not. Risk some amount of capital in order to find out whether that is going to be feasible, scalable, and all that stuff. So it's coming. It's slow, but I think again because of the economy, it put a dampen on everything here. Not everyone is going to be spending money, so unless something drastically happening. Of course, with this tax cut, right? Hopefully, we're gonna have a lot of people who are not paying taxes on the tips and all that stuff. They're gonna feel a lot better at spending. That's what they're hoping, right, to happen. But even that tax bill, right, it's not gonna happen until the next year. So this year might be the danger zone here because none of that economic stimulation from the tax bill is going to happen in the immediate short term here. So you might still see the market downturn. I'm not expecting a crash at the moment, but again, anything could happen, right? You guys, they could really fake you out here. And so just be prepared. But even if the market crash, right? I mean, if GME would have come down to what, $20 a share? Sure. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think happened here? Yeah, I thought it was going to go up from here, but they found a way to dump it one more time. Okay, so yeah, understand what you're looking for. Hey, what's up? Anything new? Nothing much. Nothing much. I see the stapler. I know. Yeah, that's the only thing new that is. It's worth more now. Of course, people are buying, are betting it up. Of course, Ryan Cohen tweets something about if it reach 7 figures, which is $1 million or more, he's gonna personally deliver the items at McDonald's or something like that. It's kind of funny. Oh, what the heck? What was that? But yeah, Michael Saylor is getting big headed now. Of course, he's predicting right. Look at this. BlackRock is now buying ETH, more ETH than Bitcoin. So that's the cycle. I think this is a cycle in which ETH is going to outperform Bitcoin. Not to say that Bitcoin is not valuable. Obviously, you guys, Bitcoin is not going to do well, but this is just the cycle. The rotations from large cap to the small cap, and and so on and so forth. So it's gonna do well. I do have some ETH, but not very much. I'm just gonna hold it for a long term here. Not gonna trade that one, but for some amount in which crypto I'm not gonna touch, because again, like in 10 years, I don't know how much more valuable it's going to be at the moment in time. Now, why do I want to exit out of crypto? Because I want to kind of see if I could time the top, right? I'm a stubborn person. I know nobody could time the top, but we'll see. See. All right, so they are setting up for that altcoin season. Of course, right now, Bitcoin is taking the show at the moment, but eventually you're gonna see if Bitcoin continue to go up here from here, altcoin season's gonna follow through, but it's also is going to be giving you more in percentage. The whole idea is to take some profit here, and be wise if you're into that kind of thing. Be smart, and do it more kind of strategically. Okay. Anyway, I will see you, guys. I know, just need the yes, I need to win the lottery to have it. I know that's crazy, right? Um, I know. Like, if I have $1 billion, of course I would do this. Yeah, he's such a cool CEO to at least shaking hands. Um, but since I'm not a billionaire yet, it's going to be tough. um, but anywho, a good segment here. There's a slideshow of monies twirling around over here around GameStop. So yeah, things is happening. Buckle up, hang in there. Whatever slogan you know um, you go by, go ahead, be excited. I know things are happening right now when you're not kind of like in the alternate universe here, but just stay focused. Sometimes you just have so much distraction. I think the direction is blockchain for sure, and so yeah, stay safe, you guys. Stay safe. Don't do anything crazy. Okay, you own GameStop here. Okay, just stay safe. Don't be going places. I don't know. I think I'm just too hungry over here to come up with anything clever. All right, I'll let you guys go. Okay, be back tomorrow maybe. It's Friday, and we'll see if there's fireworks happening. I doubt it's going to be above Max Payne, because remember Max Payne is around $23 a share. All right.